Hey, folks, one of the Redneck Country Podcast. You're on with Real Redneck Todd Millard. And, of course, we got the almost guy, Real Redneck Bill. Tom, Bill, are you there?
Good evening, everybody. As always, beautiful night for a podcast.
It is a beautiful night for a podcast. And, of course, we have the Patriarch of Redneck Country, my father, Real Redneck Don Millard. Dad sitting beside me. Is your mic on? Are you hot?
Yes, I am here.
Whoa, it is on.
Holy
and I didn't walk over. I got dropped off tonight.
You got dropped off.
I got dropped off. I got to walk home.
Oh.
He's got to walk home.
I'm sure Todd can give you a lift there. With everything that Avery's cooking up in the kitchen there tonight, maybe you don't even need to.
My gosh. When a 7-year-old runs wild, you walk in the kitchen and the island is just covered in stuff and you have to try it. I don't know. We're waiting. 911 is on speed dial, folks.
Yeah. We've got 91 dialed just in case.
Ready to hit the one and go. This podcast will get real interesting when it's 911. What's the emergency?
Oh, she already got one batch of stuff out of the oven. She doesn't remember what was in it, but she had me try one, and doggone, it was pretty good.
We were just saying she's got water in a Ziploc baggie that she mixed into this dough. There was brown sugar, so I know that's all right. And then I said, what is this other bag? I don't know. It was just sitting there, so I put it in there. So we deduced.
She said to me, it's my own recipe. I don't know what's in it, but I made it myself. No recipe. Tastes good, huh? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Grandpa thinks everything tastes good. hence he's got to walk home. No kidding. To wear it off. But we think it was shake and bake.
Secret ingredient.
And I had a chocolate chip in the middle. I know that.
Yeah, chocolate chips in the middle. That was my job. When I came in, then I was enlisted to work. And I'm taking all the credit. She's looking at me right now. And I had to stuff the balls with the chocolate chips and put them in the oven. And then I came downstairs. And so my wife took them out. I think they could have been in it a little bit longer, but I'll tell you, they were actually pretty good.
Well, if you stop talking halfway through the podcast, we'll all know something is wrong.
Well, if I stop talking in life in general, we all know something's wrong. Somebody calls something somewhere.
So it is now the end of the week. We're podcasting on a different night tonight, so you guys got to have good stories about what you did this week.
I don't know. Y'all think about what'd you do this week?
What I do this week?
Yeah, what'd you do this week?
I had a great week. I had venison tenderloin, and venison steaks, and venison chops on the Weber grill on Sunday.
That almost doesn't sound like something the almost guy would get to eat.
And I'll tell you the story tonight on the podcast, I think, of where the venison tenderloin came from.
Hey, I'm down with that. Now we're rocking and rolling, but really, I think we need to figure out how good it tastes, and we're still waiting on the Meals on Wheels or Uber Eats or whatever the heck it is to get it here. It might be a little cold, but
might be a little bit cold. But I tell you right now, it was a good day for the Weber, getting that fired up, and the tenderloin I brought out was from the buck I shot this year, and it was one of the best cooking experiences that we had with tenderloin here at the house. Violet, who sometimes is a little bit pickier on what she eats, not one complaint, nothing of negative. And I was sending pictures to my dad and my brother and the rest of the guys, and it was making their mouth water too, for sure. So
that's awesome.
Maybe I'll send you the pictures. Yeah, it was good. We had barbecue macaroni and cheese, venison tenderloin, and corn. So it was a nice meal for
corn.
Yep.
This time of year.
Well, it wasn't real corn. It was canned corn, but it tasted like corn. It looked like corn.
You just grabbed it on your way out of the bush.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's how we roll.
You got to wait till the frost hits it, Bill, for that field corn to get that good flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was talking to my mom and dad, who are getting ready for mom to start to do some late season bow hunting. And she's all excited because they got 2 new Spy Point game cameras with the cell phone feature and stuff like that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, they're loving it. They're sending me pictures of does and fawns that are on there. She's got one nice 8-point 9, but I think it's got a broken brow time. But she's excited nonetheless because it's all about getting mom out into the ground blind and having some deer in front of her and giving her an opportunity to at least see some animals.
That is so cool. That's something you'll never hear me say, isn't it, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
At home, Mom's going to go out bow hunter. Mom got some new Spy Point trail cameras.
Yeah.
Unless those come in a 5-star hotel with a big shopping mall right nearby, that ain't happening.
She's not even interested in how you did. She won't even ask you how you made out or what you got. She don't care.
Really?
But he's not bitter, folks. He's not bitter at all. Now,
all these years that you bring, and she doesn't wonder at least how it got there.
She doesn't want to hear about it. I'll tell you what. Now, if you could set those spy points up in the mall somewhere, and so that you could see when flash sales come on, she'd have 3,000 trail cameras.
Nope. I started hunting when I was 15, and I got married when I was 20. She's 19, and she hasn't cared about my hunting or shooting that whole time.
What, 53 years, 52, 54?
56 years.
50, whoops. 56 years. Yeah, she doesn't care. She does. In fact, she will flip the script. If I'm like, okay, I got to go hunting on Saturday, or we're going to line up a field at... I remember what it was like when I had kids and your dad was gone, when you kids were home and you're leaving your wife home alone and going hunting. But I'll tell you, my wife is more than happy that I go hunting. That's why I can't believe the wives that are get down. And I read posts about it that like the wife is upset that I'm going to go hunting and all that stuff. And I don't know. My wife can't wait for me to leave to go hunting. I guess the house stays cleaner. And her and the kids have a blast. I don't know. They love it. They boot me out.
Yeah, and you were more than happy to go.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
That's it.
Okay, so Dad, what did you do this week?
Well, what I did this week was directly related to something that I did 43 years ago. It was a Saturday morning, and the reason I went out grouse hunting that morning was because we'd had a snowstorm overnight, and we had pretty good snowfall, and I knew I had several places where I hunted grouse, and I knew that the grouse would be looking for snow drifts. And what they do is typically you get a bad storm like that, and it's cold, where the snow's not heavy and melting, it's fluffy. Them grouse will fly into a snowbank and spend the night there. And so I went out that morning to a grouse covert that I knew very well, and I was looking for those spots in the snowdrift where the grouse had flown in. And it would be like if you stuck your hand in a snowdrift and pulled it out, the snow would kind of fall in and leave an indent. So I was looking for those places. And what you did was you walked up to that snowdrift, found one, kicked that snowdrift, and you'd kick that grouse up into the air. And so that morning I had 3 grouse already. And I'm walking through the thicket, and the brambles and the briars, and a branch let go, a thorn branch let go, and hit me square in the face and hit my eye, and boy, it hurt. But what I didn't realize at the time was that the thorn on that particular branch went straight into the pupil of my eye before it touched any other part of my face. And I physically pulled it out, and I went, wow, that hurt. That eye watered up. I thought, what's going to sting for a bit? And so I just kept, walking around a little bit and rubbing it and getting the water out of it. But it didn't clear up. I thought, okay, I better go to the hospital. So I drove myself to the hospital, got to the hospital, and the doctor there, he looked at it. He's, I can't do anything for you. I'm going to dress it up. You get to your doctor on Monday, your eye doctor on Monday. Well, by the time I called the eye doctor and made an appointment, and he wanted me to come right in, he was mad. He said, the hospital should have called me immediately. The eye is the fastest healing part of your body, and it's already scarred over, and there's nothing I can do. They never had the technology to take care of it at that time. So for 43 years, I've looked through a scar. Every time I get my eyes checked, I can't even read the top line on the chart. So they do all kinds of things with the lenses to try and get me to see clear. Well, I went to my eye doctor here in April, and he says, you know what? They got new technology out. I'm going to give you some tests. And he gave me some tests, and he says, there's a doctor in London, an eye surgeon, I think, that can remove that scar. You got a bit of a cataract, and I think he'll do that. And so last Friday, exactly a week ago tonight, I went to that eye doctor and he took the cataract and the scar, and he said he even got the debris that was been embedded in my eye for 43 years.
Come
and
on.
I went for the follow-up appointment today, and I can read the bottom line on a chart with no glasses. So that's what I've been up to all week.
outstanding.
All week I've been putting drops in my eye and sleeping with a patch. And so today he said, you're good to go. Continue with the drops, but you don't have to take it easy anymore.
He's been a pirate all week.
So that's what I did all week. I've been camping this eye.
Well, that's good. And now you can see how ugly Todd really is.
Well, now he has no excuse to miss targets. That's what I'm hearing.
Is that what you're hearing?
That's what I'm hearing.
I think
Well,
so. I think
yeah.
you just picked up.
And that's what I was
targets
hoping
around.
for, except my shoulder, because my shoulder's still not fixed. I found out that it's not just a rotator cuff. Both muscles are torn off that bone that holds your shoulder into its socket. And every time I don't have the strength to lift a gun, and every time you lift it, the shoulder comes out of the socket. So I'm still trying to train the arm to do a different thing, and it just won't do what I want it to do. But I'm excited. I'm hoping I can go back shooting this Wednesday now and just see what I can do to work on the
Bill,
arm now.
what do they do to lame horses, Bill?
Yeah, they say something about shooting them, but I'm not sure.
See,
I'm not
this-
sure how that fixes the wound, but at least they got now you got a horse that's lame-handed with a gunshot. So
lame and with a gunshot. I like that. This horse, I'm fixing to inherit some firearms. I might.
yeah, I think you better let that one heal. He's comedic relief for me on these calls anyway.
The comedic relief. He's the break-in comedic relief.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
Well, that's good though. I mean, first of all, I would have never thought you hunt grouse like that. It's pretty neat to hear the stories of grouse hunts and hunts that are different than the typical turkey hunt.
Without
deer
getting
hunt.
into grouse hunting, because we can do that on another podcast, because I know we want to get into your deer one. But our grouse hunting down in southern Ontario here is a lot different than when I see happens up in northern Ontario, where they're dumb as fence posts and you walk up to them. Like here, and I hear that people hunt them with a 22. They see them, they can shoot them, they walk up on them and everything else. And here, A, you got to find them. They're getting pretty scarce. But B, we got to like hunt them up like rabbits. I mean, like you got
it's the same way up in the Ottawa Valley, like not to get into a grouse hunting podcast, like you said, but when we're hunting them up there, you're hearing the noise and then you're finding where they went down, as opposed to when I hunted them when I was way up north hunting moose. You can walk right up to them with a bow and arrow and shoot them.
Yeah, I hear this, and I've never gone up and done it, right? And they're just, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like fun. That ain't hunting. That's just killing.
Yeah,
but
it's filling the frying pan is what that is.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just it's more exciting when you gotta kick them up and find
hit them on the wing.
Yeah. Yep. So that
So, and you,
what did you know what? I don't know what a whole lot I'd done this week. We shot another interclub shoot, which I can't say I won some money, but we'll just leave it at that. I can't say that it was really awesome, and got to see everybody, so that was a good time. But aside from
you get
that,
snowed on during the shoot.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we got snow. We got. It seems like this last week and a half, it's been nothing but. Now it's starting to clear up now, but yeah,
Actually, that slows the targets down, doesn't it? When it hits the snow, that's why you can hit them so much better when it snows.
Yeah, I wish you could hit them much better in a snowstorm. If it wasn't pelting your eyeball, like covering your glasses up so you can't see and they're running down, if you had windshield wipers or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, aside from that, I Christmas shopping. All my stuff's coming in now from Amazon. I'm getting ready to rock there. I bought a pair. I have a story. I was debating on sharing it, but maybe I will, because I bought a pair of shoes, and I thought, for those that don't know, I'm a bit of a sneakerhead. I can't say that I'm full blown sneakerhead. I have a lot of pairs of shoes, but I wear them. They're not in glass cases. They're not, but I do like non-traditional shoes. And I do like the color orange. So a lot of my shoes are orange, but they've got to be really cool looking. They've got to really catch my eye. So anyway, I seen a pair of shoes and I know what they were worth. And they were selling them for, I'll even go in. The lady had them up for $90. And I know that they were worth more than that. They're brand new. They got to be brand new. They're brand new. And I thought, hey, they're pretty cool. You know, at least even Megan might want them. So unfortunately, they were half a size big, but the lady, I offered her $65. Said, I can't go any higher than that. That's just what it is. And I get it. They're worth more than that. And with full disclosure, I know that. And so she's like, yeah, I can't go that. Hey, I can appreciate that. So I let it go. A couple days later, she messaged me and said, hey, I'm going to lower them in price. So if you still want them for 65, I'm like, I'll be there. So I went over and got them. Megan did look at them and wanted them, but they were a half size too big. And I said, no, we're not doing that, because you're not going to wear them. And then the minute you put them on your feet, they're not worth money anymore. So I thought, you know what? When I went over, this woman had this little girl was so cool and cute and was, hey, hi. So I thought, you know what? I have the means, because I am a bit of a sneakerhead. So I'm on the apps. I'm on the different social media platforms and stuff in the sneakerhead arena. And I know the details about these shoes, when they were released and everything else. So I thought I'll throw them on there for more closer to what they're worth, and I'll give the lady the money. So I was actually able to sell those shoes tonight. And then I went and slipped the money under the door for her Christmas. So it was a little bit of a feel good thing. She just messaged me up. She's like, good. Did you just put money back under my door? She messaged me back on Facebook. I thought I could get away with it anonymous, but she had seen the ad that I had posted, so she knew. So, but still made me feel good. It's good. It's Christmas time of the year. You know what I mean? And so if I can sell them for her, I thought, hey, that's a win-win. It doesn't hurt me.
That's what it's all about. You know, is doing good things for people and making sure that, as we, are very, very fortunate in the redneck community here, we're able to give back the best that we can and make sure people are taken care of, right?
Agreed. It's a building community, whether it's just in your community, in the hunting community, in any community, and that's what life's about. So yeah, it was. And she messaged me, I'm absolutely speechless. Made my night. That's all I needed to hear. I don't want to respond. Awesome.
Yeah, it gives people faith in humanity again, and in the world that we're in, and all the craziness. If we can do something nice and people can appreciate that, then yeah, we're doing the right
Agreed.
thing.
I don't share that to gloat so much as just to say, hopefully it's contagious. It gives you an idea to do something like that. But it made me feel good. It's selfish wise. It made me feel good. And it's that time of year that you want to feel good anyway. Like, I want to do that stuff all year round, but the opportunity just presented itself. So seize the moment. Carpe diem.
Right.
So Good job. So that was my week.
Good job. Good.
Pretty much in a nutshell. I was working and hustling those shoes, because, oh my gosh, online, it is not a fun deal to sell anything online unless you want like somebody's used tire and a box of kittens for whatever you're selling. But yeah, that was my week. Got her done. And now here we are, recording a podcast and ready to rock and roll. So where are we going? Are we going on about I'm down to hear your buck story. Absolutely.
You know what? I think it's, we can tell that story tonight. I've got, it doesn't take up a whole podcast, but it was for me, the story of a perfect day.
Wait. Before we get into this, can I make fun of you?
You're asking?
Really, I'm just
who's going to stop you? That's the question. Not can I? Who's going to stop you?
Really, I'm just saying that so that people are like, oh, okay, it is Todd.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, folks, he does know I make fun of him. We're good to go.
Yeah. This is the way our stories go. I'll be interrupted about 55 times throughout the entire story, and we'll go from there. But this is what we do, right?
I'll go for a record. So Can we consider this the first interruption? Okay, carry on.
This is the first interruption. Yeah.
I'm going to make ticks.
So this was the Wednesday of the deer hunt. We already had a pretty successful week up to this point in time with the Alliance, and we had 4 of us in the camp. Like I was telling you before, 2 doe tags and two buck tags. Antlered tags only, and
with the Alliance. Sorry,
the Alliance. There you go. It's the first time you get that in there. But yeah, we had a great week there. Had some bow hunting. I had a successful hunt on the Monday, and we passed up on a bunch of deer on Tuesday. And we decided, since we already had 2 deer on the pole, we were going to take 6 points or better. If I was,
we're getting picky on this now, huh?
It was just the deal that we established amongst ourselves to give everybody an opportunity.
Now, just to be clear, you didn't say how many inches, like, I'll only shoot 150s. No. You were 6 points or greater.
Yeah. And it plays into the story a little bit.
So I say we're getting picky, but Dad, we don't shoot bucks unless they're 8 points or greater, right? Like that's just normal.
If it's brown is down, let them tell the freaking story.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate your support. I really do.
I got your back, Bill. Go for it.
What sucks is I got the volume controls on the mixing board beside me, so we're good to go. And he wouldn't even know what he's doing.
So Tuesday was a pretty interesting day at the camp because we had a massive storm that came through. It was a big windstorm. And I'd sat up in the stable field, which was kind of where I thought I would see the most deer and had great success at seeing deer at this point in time. And it was the same spot that I had the Big 10 on camera that I shared and my brother saw later on. But it to me, it was a promising spot. So Tuesday I was there and I put down my secret apple mix and I had what did I have? I had a fawn and a button buck and I had a doe and they went away. And then I had a doe come back in and she was hanging around. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this before when you can hear the wind coming from a long piece away and you can hear it just slowly it's calm in front of you and the wind comes through the bush. It gets louder and louder. And then all of a sudden it's on you. I don't know if you've ever experienced that before or not in the bush.
Like you could hear the trees starting to far ways. And here comes the wind, the gust.
It's exactly right. It's a massive, massive gust that came through. Well, this came through and I could hear it from miles away, it seemed. And it sounded like the F-18 Hornet firing up at the air show or something as it was coming from far piece off. And as it comes over you, right through the woods.
How did that go?
And thanks. This deer, I could hear it coming, and all of a sudden this wind came on us, and this deer hit the ground, all four, and bolted as if it was on fire. It didn't hop away. It went away scared and fast and on. It hit the ground. And
from the wind.
It was the neatest experience I've ever saw. And this wind came through and I thought I was going to fall out of the tree.
Was it that fast?
Dead calm. I'm telling you, it came from dead calm to being able to hear this. And it rolled behind me for about 25 seconds before it actually came up upon us. That came upon me. And when it got to me, that deer was in front and it did not know what to do. It looked left, it looked right, and it hit the ground on all fours and just army crawled, it seemed, but it took off like a shot. I've never seen that happen
from the
before.
wind. Yeah, because to me, I figured they'd be used to that.
Yeah, well, me too. And it wasn't scared of me, obviously, because it was scared of the wind and the environment.
Because really, I mean, who's scared of you, Bill? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm sitting up in a tree with camel paint on, waiting to.
They've all seen you shoot.
Big ticket.
Like, well, that's the almost guy. I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that's so bizarre because you'd figure that the deer are used to that wind and like you were prepared. You could hear it coming. You figured the deer would have heard it coming long before you and been prepared for that F-18 Hornet. Yep. But if it was that sudden that it scared that deer.
It was one of the more amazing experiences I've had in the deer woods. And then the same day, 45 minutes before that, I had a little button buck out in front of me in the apples, and that button buck, there was a raven that had flown over, and believe it or not, that raven flew over, and the deer looked up at the raven, and kind of was like, "Well, what's that?" and was scared of the raven. The raven came and landed on the tree above the deer, and the deer took off and hid underneath a bunch of bramble bushes and looked up at that raven until it flew away.
No kidding.
I have no clue what it's a raven. It's a big bird. Don't get me wrong.
Are these like the deer you're hunting? They must be picked on by a lot of stuff.
I'm thinking this deer was very much had some social anxieties and some problems. He's going through some stuff. So we let him be. We just let him go through his stuff.
She needed the deer psychiatrist. She was, having a struggle. Every little thing was anxiety. She got into the neighboring farm's plot.
And he's been picked on ever since. And ravens and wind, these deer are just not happy. So, but you know what? So I put the stuff out on Tuesday night, and I figured, you know what? It wasn't. I didn't see big ticket come out, and I'm just going to leave it there. Obviously, I'm not going to take it back with me. So Wednesday morning, I know I've got feed out there. I'm going to go back and sit in the same stand. It's going to be great. This stand is going to be the one that I'm going to see a big deer out of it. You know, so I go back to the camp Wednesday morning. I get up right early. I want to get in there super early because I want to get there in front of the deer. I've seen them, the cameras, and the bucks are coming in early, and I want to get there so that if I'm in the stand before them with 45 minutes before legal shooting light, I can then have the animals waking up in front of me, which was the theory. Well, it doesn't always work out the way it plans, right? Like I'm the almost guy. So I get into the stand 45 minutes before legal shooting light. It was great. I let the nature wake up in front of me. My brother comes out to his spot, and then I get a text message on my phone from TJ, which is the other friend we hunt with there. The ATV died halfway to my stand. I got to walk. I'm like, okay, I'm already in the stand at this point in time. He's got to walk pretty much directly, walk right past my stand.
But he would have normally driven by you?
Yeah, but it's not that. It's close enough, but I can't see him. It's probably 100 and maybe 200 yards in front of me. There's lots of bush in between us. There's an ATV trail that runs through and around where the stable field is.
Yep.
I'm pretty much maybe 200 yards away from him at any time that he's traveling around me at the minimum.
Okay, so now are these, you go in obviously 45 minutes before light. Are they going in at light, or do they go in the dark too?
Well, it depends what time they wake up. You know, I'm the guy I'm the guy in the hunt camp. My brother will tell you as soon as when he gets on that he's the guy that wakes up, gets dressed, and goes. I eat breakfast. I get up. I'm the first one up, even though there's only 4 of us in camp. I'm the first one up. I put the fire on. I put the coffee teapot water on. I get things ready. My dad wakes up, goes to the bathroom 4 times before he goes out. No, he's older now. He's got to go to the bathroom half a dozen times and before he's ready. So he may not go. He doesn't like going right before legal shooting light. He likes to go at first light. Because his opinion is he kicks deer out as he's walking to his spot.
So he wants to get a crack at him, maybe.
Maybe, but my brother, you know, I'm always 9 times out of 10, I'm the first guy out of the camp by a good 20 minutes before the rest of the guys.
See, that's my theory. I make Dad and everybody go because I'm certain, Dad, you don't want to go as early as I do, but you do because we go together. But I make them so that I want to be in the stand like you 40 minutes early.
Yep.
It doesn't always happen, but we're going in before legal shooting time so that we're ready to go.
No question in my mind.
And I'm like, it's 1 week a year. I can get up 1 week a year. We're doing it.
This is why I'm on vacation, but the way I had this envisioned in my head is exactly the way Wednesday played out. And so I'm in the stand. TJ's having a rough day. I'm really, really sad for him after I tell the story, but his ATV breaks down and now he's walking, and he's got to walk probably another, I don't know, 1.5 kilometers at least to get to his spot from where the ATV broke down.
That's some property, man.
Yeah, he was walking, but so I feel bad for him because he wasn't in his stand for 5 minutes, maybe.
And you pulled the trigger?
Yeah. So he went from a bad day. But anyway, so I'm sitting in my stand and first light, it had to be about 20 after 7 or so, I guess. And a doe comes right out in front of me. I'm like, great, guys. At this point in time, I'm texting my dad, my brother. TJ's just got into a stand. Hey, guys, I got a doe in front of me. I'm going to watch it, see what's going to come behind it. Cause there was, my dad hadn't shot yet, and we still had a doe tag, I think. Yeah, we had a doe tag left because we had a deer down. My brother shot a buck, and I had shot the doe. And the doe comes out, and I'm like, hey, this is great. I got a doe here. This is perfect. First light. Everything's going to plan. I could watch a deer for the morning. And sure enough, I see another whitetail flip behind this deer. I'm thinking, we've got a lot of pictures of a doe and a couple small fawns on camera.
So you're figuring it's a fawn.
I'm figuring it's a fawn. I'm like, this doe is this nice sized doe, and she seems to be the one that we're seeing on camera. And I see the flip of the tail, and I'm like, oh, another deer. Oh, it's a buck. And I'm looking at this buck, and he's right on the trail of this doe, and he's following the doe right out of the hardwoods right in front of me. I would say they came out exactly the way I didn't think they would come out, directly in front of me, 90, 95 yards. And the doe comes, and she's in my shooting lane at 95 yards. The buck comes out and stops broadside behind 3 pine trees. And all I can see is his head and the rack, his head, his neck, and the rack. And I pull up, and I'm like,
and you're trying to count points. We got to be greater than 6.
Yeah, greater than 6. And
now the greater than 6, is this like your brother's 10? Where it's your dad would argue that's an 8, but it's a 10. And so now you're like trying to judge. Okay, could we count that one? Does that it's 5.5? No, it's going to be 6. It's 6.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. And I counted 4. And I thought, okay, there's got to be 2 brow tines there, so it's got to be a 6.
You close my eyes and imagine, wow, there's 12-inch brows. We're good to go.
So it wasn't a big deer, but it had a wider rack, and it was, it was not your Texas 10. It was a buck following a doe, and I get on the text message to the guys and said, hey, I got a doe here, and just a second. Oh, I got a buck here. My dad's like, well, shoot it. I'm like, okay, that's all I need.
Done deal. You guys read it. He said it.
and I had to lean to the side, and I leaned to the side, and I now I see front shoulder, and he gives me enough time, and I just pull back and kaboom. And he takes 3 steps in front and falls right there. I text back to my dad. Okay. His text was shoot it. Less than 30 seconds later. Okay. After the shot goes, buck down. I think it's 4 at least, maybe 6. And I could see the steam coming off my brother's tree stand as he's waiting for me to count 6 points.
It's a J8, so it's a 6 in anybody's book. Yeah. So, he's gonna hate me. You're not even safe, Jay, and you're not even on the podcast tonight. This buck, and this is at 7:30, almost whatever time. It was almost 7:30 exactly. It was. this. I take the shot. The buck takes 3 steps forward, falls right in front. I'm like, guys, take your time. The buck is down. I see him in front of me. And now I'm going down thinking, please let there be 2 more points. Please let there be two more points. Yeah. And I'm thinking, all right, guys, take your time. TJ, you start now because you've got at least 3 hours to get to me.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So I get down, and I slowly lower the gun. Didn't even put another shell in because there's no point, right? I get down and I walk right up to it and I count 1, 2, 3 on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. Okay, 7 point buck down. Got him.
You're good to go.
I'm like, whew. That's good. So I said my prayer and I thank you very much for giving your life up for me and my family and I enjoyed the moment.
Let's key in on that. Do you do that? Do you say, are you thankful? Like you're believe, and therefore you say thank you for it
every time.
That's awesome.
I say my thanks, and my own time when there's nobody there, and I just put my hand on the animal and I say thank you very much for the opportunity you've given me, And, the respect to the animal, to the hunt, to the land, to everything, just bringing it together with just saying thanks. That's
I'm
what I
glad
do.
to hear you do that, Bill, because I do that same thing a little differently. But I always ask the Lord to ask the spirit of that animal to forgive me for taking its life, but let it know it can be very proud as part of such a terrific part of God's creation, and that it will never be forgotten because there's pictures and whatnot, and just give thanks for that opportunity. I do that too.
That's awesome. That's awesome here. A lot of guys are praying prior to the shot, but it's good to pray after as well.
Yeah, I do both. I don't consciously do, but before, but I definitely after when I find the animal and I take that opportunity to make sure, I'm thankful for that opportunity. So,
yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So my dad shows up and I tell him the story. I tell him where the deer was when I shot it, because the deer's on the ground and my brother is still waiting for TJ. Maybe he went to pick him up, I think, because to save him from bucking. And my dad and I are there together, kind of talking over the hunt. And I stood right where the deer was when I took the shot, and we could hardly even see the tree stand back. But when I leaned sideways, you could definitely tell where the stand was. And I had a clear shot. There was nothing in between. I wouldn't have taken the shot if it wasn't good. And I ended up taking the top of the heart off of the deer. So the shot was true.
Right on.
It was early enough in the day that it was just the absolute perfect day for me. It was exactly how I pictured the day going. We had the deer back in camp and up and got it and hung up by, I don't know, call it 8:30 maybe
a.m.
And 8:30 a.m.
That is
it was super early. Like I said, TJ was only in the spot for 5 minutes before I pulled the trigger, and he had to.
If TJ's listening, I'm leaning towards he might have just bumped that deer right to you.
Bumped both the doe and the buck. I don't know, but it wasn't the first deer he bumped that week. But anyways, I got the deer back, and I said to my dad, my brother Jay, "Go, please go hunt. This is exactly how I pictured my day going. Shoot the deer," and I'm all about the entire process.
I like this.
I don't know if it
because you sent me.
Like that.
Now I know where we're going. You sent me pictures of this part coming up, and I was I was actually impressed. I remember this now. Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah, this is my day. I mean, I went back to the camp. I hung the deer up, and I spent the entirety of the remainder of the day preparing the deer for the butcher. I poured myself a cup of coffee.
Coffee?
I put. Oh yeah, yeah. I drink coffee too.
I know you say that, but I'm waiting for you to slip and actually let us know it was tea.
No, but it was Starbucks coffee. If that means it.
Oh, that's like tea, dude.
Well, I get side note.
You can't buy a coffee at Starbucks unless you have a Louis Vuitton purse, right? So that's just I automatically.
Or you go my route, and my daughter works at Starbucks, and I get it for free. So, but anyways, it was great. I poured myself a cup of coffee. I had the whole camp to myself. I had the door open because it was starting to get a little bit warm. It was warming up on Wednesday because Thursday was like shorts day. But anyways, Wednesday, the deer is hung up now. I get my knives out. The music is going in the hunting shed. And I start to take the hide off the deer. I take all the tallow and the fat off it. I take the hair, pick the hair off, prepare it for taking it to the butcher. We called the butcher. My mom shows up in the truck. We load it on the truck, take it into the butcher's. Like it was an entire day of absolute relaxing fulfillment from the time I woke up to having deer in front of me to the time that the sun was going down to have the experience completed. It was, I don't know how to explain it other than it was just one of them days that you just can remember for the rest of your life.
That's so cool. And you did it all on your own. You guys hunt. I got this. You guys go.
I did. Yeah, I did. That side of it, I did all on my own. I mean, I definitely, the guys, it's not because they didn't want to, believe me. We all help each other
Oh,
out.
absolutely.
I was so happy for them to be able to go hunt. I was happy that I was able to do it myself at my pace, my time, relax. Nothing on my mind besides reliving the hunt, the experience, preparing that deer for the butcher, the hide. I ended up tanning that hide. That was the one that I most recently did and showed you the pictures of. The head I did a European mount on. It's up there. Pictures are prepared to be printed. So I mean, the total respect for the day, the hunt, the animal. 6 points, 4 points. It just was the perfect day.
That's so cool.
So,
okay.
yeah,
So if anybody's brain is like mine in this whole process, and I remember you sent me pictures that day. Now I know what story you're talking about. And you said that, right? All day. I'm processing this deer all day. And you sent me pictures of it caped out. You sent me pictures of it hanging, skinned, and the whole 9 yards. And you had music playing. So if anybody's mind's like mine, what music is deer preparation?
Yeah, just the playlist. I've got everything from the Tragically Hip to I don't even know. I've got all kinds of music on my Spotify playlist. That I'm a great big Tragically Hip fan, but I listen to old country music to 60s rock to modern country.
I'm so curious on this. So this whole story. Yeah. If anybody thinks so at one time I was going hunting with Scotty and I'm like, okay, I got to go over there and pick him up. I thought, well, I'll head over early, and I go over and I'm knocking on the door and I'm like, he's not answering. I know he's home. His truck's here and he always leaves the door unlocked. So I swing open the door and I walk in, and Miley Cyrus, I believe, or no, what was Bieber's ex-girlfriend? Darn it. I can't think of her name. Brown hair. I can picture her. Anyway, it's playing, and I'm like, hello? And he's got 2 teenage daughters, so I'm like, this isn't out of the ordinary. They're not home. Dude is vacuuming and dancing downstairs. I walk downstairs. He's vacuuming, dancing, and singing along to the music. I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm going hunting. You have a good day. This can't carry on. So sorry to hijack your state. You know, it was inevitable.
No,
but if anybody thinks like me, if that's listening, is okay. What music does Bill Thom listen to? What is the Almost Guys playlist? I'm kind of curious. Yeah. So
I got a very eclectic taste in music, and you know, you listen to my playlist, and there's a little bit of everything on there, and I truly do.
I'm the same way. Is there hip hop on there too?
No,
you draw the line at hip hop.
The only one is Jump Around. That's hip hop to me.
That's right. That's it. No, that's hip hop. Now it's rap. I don't.
You call that?
I don't do the rap thing, but I'm the hip hop thing, right? Late 80s, early 90s. I'm down with that.
No, I got no time for any of that stuff in mind. If it's new style, the only one song that it was for my oldest daughter is Billie Eyelash or whatever that person's name is.
Nope, I'm out. I know my daughter has it too. I can't do it.
9 times out of 10, that's a skip on mine, unless she's in the car for the one time and it's there. But no, again, it's very eclectic, and most times it'll be the Tragically Hip if anything is my go-to.
Huh.
There you go. So that was my buck story and the perfect day.
That's awesome. And TJ did make it out of the woods okay.
He did, but there's another side of that story that someday I'll tell that one on another podcast, how my dad got his deer.
Absolutely. We'll have to get some of them on. I know we're going to have Jay on again, right? Yeah. He's going to tell his story. Maybe we can bring TJ on too.
TJ would be very upset to tell the story of when my dad shot his deer.
Could I make fun of him too?
I'm not sure if he'd appreciate that as much as my brother and I do. So
appreciate. I like it. Appreciate is a word. It is a word.
That's where I went.
Well, I like that.
So
story.
There you go.
That was good. Well told, Bill. I like it.
I'm getting better at these storytelling things.
I didn't think you're ever an issue. So, which is wicked. And Dad, I think, did you want to share your doe story? Because we could finish it up with, because Dad shot, we talked last week about him and how I had to make it happen for him. He sent me on the push where he knew they were bedded down, but then he shot another doe. And we let him now. We try to cater to him.
Yeah, right. Same day. Same day. Like 11:30 in the morning, I tell Todd to go over down where I figure that doe's bedded. Anyway, he puts up 2 deer. One runs my way. I stop him, shoot him, and crashes right into a tree in 10 yards from where I hit it. So that was great. And
You're welcome.
Yep. So I'm going back after lunch. I'm going back to the same stand, same day. It's now 4:45, and I'm looking, I'm scanning, I'm seeing, making sure I can and see the whole field, and I'm sneaking looks behind me now and again without moving, and I don't bring my head back until I turn and look to make sure I can sit back up straight. And I'm looking straight down this fence line, and I've cleared the brush away as much as I can from my stand so I can see to the corner, and I see under these high kind of leafy limbs, it looks like a pair of legs of a deer in the corner. And I went, is that deer legs? It's 4:45. It's starting to get dusk. And I kind of scrunched down in the blind and take a look. And sure enough, now I can see 4 legs. I said, that is a deer. So I really carefully moved the gun over, and I'm looking through the scope, see if I can pick that deer out. And I don't find it in the scope. So I put my head aside, and yep, there's the legs, there's the body. So I put the gun back over, and sure enough, there's the deer, and it's a big doe. And I figure it's the one that I saw go and bed, and that's one of the deer that Todd jumped earlier that morning. And I figure what's happened, it's come back up the top looking for the one it was with, because it came right up the hog back and right up into the corner of the field from the bottom. I didn't see it come out of the woods. I didn't see it come across the field. All of a sudden, it's standing there, and it's kind of quartering away or quartering towards me. And her head is swung down to the ground, kind of sniffing along beside her kind of turned back. So I wait until she lifts her head, and she looks straight, almost like a 45-degree angle to my left, and she's looking in that bit of a woods. And I put the gun where I figure it should be, that it's going to quarter through the left front leg and go through the lungs and come out behind the right front leg. And I touch it off. Well, that deer pretty near falls over and corrects itself, but swings to the right and runs directly away from me. And I figure, oh no, I hope it went into the woods. I hope it didn't go over and down into the bottom.
The bottom of the ravine.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure. So anyway, I messaged Todd, and I said, I got a deer down, or at least I hit a deer.
I almost fell out of the tree stand because it was getting to be that time of night, right? And everything's quieting down. I'm only 200 yards from him, up on top of this ravine, and yeah, that will wake you up.
So
no kidding.
I said, yeah, what do you want to do? I said, it's going to take me 5 minutes to get unhooked and get everything down and out of the tree, maybe 10 minutes. And he says, well, I'm coming right over because
it's getting dark.
It's getting dark.
Yeah.
We want to find blood. We want to see if we can find that deer. So we mentioned the other guys that are messaged them and said, this is what we're going to do up here. So by the time I got down and got everything off, and my vest that I wear that holds me into the tree, it has a strap that goes around the tree. Well, you roll that up and it goes into a zippered pocket on the vest. So I put it in the zippered pocket and zippered it, and I'm just taking the vest off, and I took a step, and I stepped on it. And I went, how did I miss that pocket? So I unzipped the pocket, I picked it up, I made sure it was rolled, I put it back in there, and I zipped it up again, and it fell right straight through to the ground again. And I went, oh my gosh, there must be a hole in this pocket, or it must be ripped out. Well, by that time, Todd's there. And I said, there's something wrong. I'm going to lose this strap. He's, never mind that. Put it down. We got to go and find this deer.
It's freaking dark. We got a one track. No. We got to deal with this strap right now.
I don't want to lose the strap.
I don't want to lose the strap.
Right.
So I'm, oh, geez.
So he's grabbed me by the collar. Let's go look at, Todd. I mean, he's excited now. He's one track mind. Let's go find it.
I'm a one track mind. It's getting dark.
So, and I've already reloaded. I reloaded in the stand. So he said, where was that deer? So I showed him where it was. No blood.
Let me tell you. So there was no blood. And I'm thinking, okay, he's more concerned about the strap than this deer. And there's no blood. And we got, I'm looking, this is a field, a bean field it was a ways out in the field. We should have some blood. And I'm looking everywhere. And he's telling me the way it faltered when he hit it, the whole 9 yards.
Tell me how much you second guessed him.
I didn't.
Yeah, well, I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't second guessing, but of course, Todd, he's doubting. He's doubting everything. He's doubting.
I don't doubt.
So
I'm usually the guy that says, if Dad pulls the trigger, you know it's good.
Anyway, I said the way it ran, it didn't look like I was heading into this kind of wooded bedding area. It looked like I was heading right for the corner,
of course,
to the top. Now it could have swung to the left after it got in through the ragweed and that. I don't know. So he took a couple steps out of the field and he picked up a leaf that had a spot of blood. He's okay. We got a spot of blood. Well, he couldn't find another leaf. So by now we're standing right on the top of that ravine. I say ravine, but it's just a hill that goes down into the valley.
It's 200 yards down.
And it just goes into the valley. So it's not a ravine.
And you ain't climbing up it.
Like it's a mile.
It's a valley down the bottom, but
and
it's a ravine.
Farm it. It's a mile across.
It's a ravine side. Like it is straight down to hardwoods and then a creek and then more hardwoods and then they farm it. But it is straight down. I mean, it's not pretty.
So when we looked over the edge, here, 6 feet apart, you can see the light colored leaves turned up dark. And you could see, okay, that's where it went down. Look, it's jumping. It's turned up. It's turned up. It's turned up.
So I started to go down this side. I'm holding on to trees looking and I'm following turned up leaves.
There's no way I can go down. So I said, I'll go walk along the top and see if I can, keep sight of you.
Not with that strap up there still. We can't leave that strap.
That's another story. So anyway, he starts down. Well, it turns out the deer actually ran along the side of the hill for a bit.
A little ledge. Yeah.
Like it went about maybe quarter of the way down. It went kind of along the edge of that hill and then turned down again. So eventually we got to the hogback, which is about a 45 degree.
So I'll chime in now because I'm the one, I'm halfway down and I'm holding on to trees as I'm walking because I'm thinking, holy geez, how is this deer holding itself on this ledge? Well, it's hit and not pumping blood, not falling. So now I'm getting a little nervous because we had like a spot of blood and I'm following turned up leaves. And there's a lot of deer in this area. Am I following that deer's turned up leaves? Right. So finally I find a good spot of blood. So I'm like, okay, all right. Now I'm getting all kinds of blood. Well, now instead of looking for blood, I've got so much blood. Anybody that's tracked a deer knows this. You're now looking for white belly, right? Like you're looking up. Every spot of blood, you're looking up. Where's the belly? Where's the white belly? Where's the white belly? Where's the white belly? Well, now it's dark. I mean, it's black dark. It is it's a hard, and now I'm down in this halfway down this ravine in the hardwoods. It's dark. And so I got my phone and I'm walking on this edge, holding on to trees, my phone with the other hand so I don't fall down and I'm following this blood as Dad's at the top following along on the hog's back, along what we call the hog's back as I go. And so I'm still nervous because I went, what, Dad? 150 yards, 200 yards along this edge and just following blood. And I know this deer's dead, but oh my gosh, the amount of blood. Well, then finally and it's so dark now, you're not going to see white belly. And because the moonlight doesn't even hit down, we're on the north side of this ledge, drop down in the bottom, and so finally, way down in the bottom,
south side of the ledge.
South side of the ledge?
Yeah, well, the ledge is on the south side of the valley.
It's on the south side of the valley, but we're on the north side of the ledge.
Yeah, you're on the north side. But
so I'm right.
He's always right.
I get that from my dad. So anyway, it was that we finally found it. And I'll tell you, it was a double lung shot. And I don't know how this doe went that far. But it's
amazing that right at the spot you didn't see any blood. Double lung shot like that.
I'll tell you what, that's what, like all the way, I probably, that 80 yards?
Yeah.
80 yards with no blood.
Before the first little bit.
Double lung, 80 yards.
Well, there was a drop at the leaf from about maybe
on the top of the hill, but that's
10 yards from where I hit it.
You think so?
Yeah, because I hit it in the field and it ran. You found it in the ragweed on a leaf. So yeah, there was a drop of blood there.
Maybe a drop of blood there. and then nothing at all.
That's something to be said for people that are listening to if you're sure of your shot, don't give up.
Oh, you can't.
If you don't see blood right up at
yep.
the first little bit, keep looking, keep circling.
I've double lunged one
watching.
in the field. If you listen to podcast prior, that buck that when I snort wheezed and I was in a stand on the edge of the field and it ran to me 10 yards and stared at me, I double lunged him at 10 yards, staring up at me. I put it right through him. I knew I hit him. How do you miss? At 10 yards, he's right below me. I double lunged him and he went 100 yards across that field. I heard him crash, not one bit of blood, and to the point where I thought I wasn't going to find him.
Yeah.
I couldn't not
it's
believe
very
it.
discouraging because you hope for that CSI blood trail right from the time of the impact, but sometimes it's just not like, when I described the perfect blood trail in the previous or a few podcasts back, you don't always get that. And you got to be tenacious enough to keep looking, keep watching, watch where it goes, listen for that crash, pick the last tree that you saw it beside as an example. And even if it's dark, I carry a little flasher in my pack.
Do you really?
So I do because we shoot a lot of deer closer to last light. And we've had a few times where that flasher just gives point of reference for where the stand was. Even, you put it on the base of the stand, you put all your pack and stuff there, and it's a flasher, and you just look back and say, yep, it was kind of in the right spot. Or even if you got to go back and get the guys for help, or if they're not right there right away.
That's a heck of a good idea.
Flasher.
We got to get us a flasher.
That's a heck of a good idea.
All they are is what clips on the back of a bike. When I don't know what the branding pen or whatever
you sponsor,
bike,
Bill?
but
you sponsor?
Yeah, we're sponsored by Canadian Tire pen products and Carousel batteries.
Dollar store batteries.
I keep two of them. In my pack, and just in case.
That's not a bad idea. We'll take a hat where we found the last blood spot, and we'll put the hat on a branch, like our orange hat, and then we'll go from there, right? But a blanket
I feel that even if I'm hunting county bush, I don't know the landmarks well enough. So if I happen to harvest a deer in county bush, and I have to go back to the truck to get, or the van to get a whatever to help me drag that deer out, I'm not going to find it again unless I got some sort of markers to get me back there. So these flashing lights are what I use in my pack.
Good idea. So anyway, by this time I've walked along the top, and now I've reached the hogback, and the hogback goes down at a 45-degree angle. So actually what happens is it's 90 degrees to the ravine, the hogback going down. So by this time, Todd is now around the bend and on the side of the hogback heading straight north, but now he's at the bottom following along the base. And all of a sudden he yells, "I got it." And I was so happy. Like I had a lot of confidence when we saw the blood on the leaf and then saw the upturned leaves going down the side of the ravine. I thought, okay, this is trackable. But when he yelled up, "I got it," I went, "Oh, thank goodness. You're standing with it?" He says, "Yeah, and it's a big doe." And
it was big.
We're yelling up and down here. So
that was it. We were done right then.
Yeah, well,
pretty much, right?
That was it for that night. So I called in the troops, and within 15 minutes, Rick was there with the 4-wheel. Bill was there. Bob was there. We were all there. And so Todd had come back up to the top, waiting for the 4-wheel and the rope. And he had a cold drink bottle, and so okay, we get ready, we tie the rope on, and so Todd says, "Okay, Rick, you and I are."
Rappel back down the ravine.
Why didn't you drag that deer up the hill?
I was going to throw it over my shoulders.
I don't understand why you didn't.
But I had to
go to the gym.
Yeah, it was Wednesday. Wednesdays is my day off.
Oh,
actually, it was Tuesday. It was leg day, and I already done legs.
So anyway, he hands me the drink and he says, "Here, hold my drink. I'm going down the hill." So, all right, he goes down and they got it down there and they tie it up. And now we're backing the 4-wheeler up and dragging it up. And now it's at the top and I'm feeling really good. So we load it on the 4-wheeler and they run out. And so we walk back to my stand.
Okay. He left out the most tumultuous part was getting that doe up that hill, even with the 4-wheeler. because now where I was going up and down, I was down a ways. Like when we say hog's back, it's because it splits that, what I say the ravine, but the valley, and it gradually goes all the way down to the bottom. If you walked the hog's back.
It's like a 45-degree ramp comes right out of the east and west wall of that
out of the bottom
valley,
45 degrees up,
north.
but on each side it's just straight down drop off.
Yes.
And right, so you can walk all the way to the bottom of that valley on that hog's back on the left and right. And I mean, it's a narrow path. Like you watch Lord of the Rings when they're walking the mountaintop. That is the narrow path, and it's washing away more every year.
Yeah, it didn't used to be. I got pictures. I got them out this year, and that used to be about 6-8 feet wide, and it's nowhere like that now. 40 years ago, it was
in
8
some
feet
spots.
wide.
It's not even there. I mean, it's roots that is holding it on, right? Like, so it's. But anyway, so where I was going up and down, you could gradually go, but you're not going to pull the deer up that way because you can't get the 4-wheeler down the hog's back. So where that deer had to go was straight up, and now so I had to guide it because then you got to go around the trees and fell trees, and oh my gosh, I had to bump that thing over. I don't even circumference was like almost 2 feet around tree fell down, and it's up to my chest high. And so I had to get that doe with the rope around her and the 4-wheeler pulling her up, and they can't hear me all the way up there because it's Dad and Bill. And then the 4-wheeler out in the field with the winch on it. So I'm yelling, whoa, whoa. No, there's no hearing Todd yelling, whoa, when they're, rrr, rrr. So here I am trying to bump this thing, not fall down this 200 yards straight down drop, hold on to the rope to keep myself up while it's pulling me up, and bump this deer up over oh my goodness, man, that was some work. I mean, with we were still, what, Dad, 40 minutes getting that thing out of there?
And then Todd says, okay, Dad, where's my drink? Oh, shoot. It was in my pocket.
One thing.
I lost it.
Yeah, with his strap. With his strap. Now, in all that amount, we made sure we got the strap. Todd's drink? No,
we didn't. We went back, got everything. I forgot all about the strap. I forgot about it. It was 3 days later, and I thought of it. I woke up in the middle of the night. My strap's still laying out there. And
the things that keep you up at night.
Yeah. So
to be retired, right? The worries.
So the next day, like Rick says, he messaged me. He says, "So by the way, Don, I picked up your strap." Oh, good. And then Todd says, "Yeah, and guess what? I was really thirsty today, and I found that bottle of water you dropped." So it worked out great. He says, that was good. I was thirsty. Yeah. So he wouldn't have had a drink then if I hadn't
Rick had shot at a deer, and I had to go over and check to see if there was blood or not. And so I went over there, and as I was walking, it was, again, it was what, Thursday or whatever. It was warm. And when I went over, I was on fire, and Rick was just down the edge of that hog's back. So I happened to walk up, and there's my drink laying there on the top of the hog's back.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So see, everything worked out great. Yeah.
I did. Yep.
Rick retrieved my strap, and Todd had a drink.
If it was apple juice, I wouldn't have done that because you just don't know.
I said, see, everything worked out perfect. I planned that.
You did good.
Yeah, but the tracking job, that impressed me. That like these guys, when they dig in and go and find those deer, it feels good.
Yeah, it's nice when a plan comes together.
Yeah, when he has his servants get going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do now. Like,
go, there's a deer over there. Go put that deer in front of me, son.
You gotta remember.
Let me shoot him. Now go track him, gut him, drag him, hang him. Have a good day.
That gross story was before Todd was born. My daughter was 1 year old. Todd wasn't even born for another 2 years. So it goes back a long time.
We call that the dark ages, BT, before Todd.
And I did all that. When Todd decided he wanted to start hunting, I spent one whole day just showing him the whole area and all kinds of stuff. Did all the dragging, all the gutting. That's how he learned. I figure, okay, he owes me. Now it's his turn.
He owes me. He paid back 10 times.
Yeah. What the heck?
In drop straps.
And I remember too, hunting ducks and geese. A buddy of mine, he's gone now. His name's Ron Underhill, and I don't mind saying it. We hunted 5 days a week. And I can remember here we were. I was overweight. He was overweight. He smoked. We got decoys on our backs. We're carrying our guns, and we're walking across a plowed field to get to a flooded part in a cornfield where ducks were coming in. We must have fell down 5 or 6 times trying to get up. And he looked at me and he says, okay, you lose 25 pounds, I'll quit smoking. I said, better yet, let's have a couple of boys to do this for us. And so he says, let's do both. Okay, neither one of us had any kids yet. So I said, okay, let's do both. So I lost 25 pounds. He quit smoking, and we both had boys. The only thing was his didn't start hunting. Mine did. So I got the better end of the deal.
Jeez, that's awesome.
I'm pleading the fifth.
That's a great story. I like that how you brought that all together and you still managed to make fun of Todd. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you guys are slowly stepping up your game. It's taking you 40 something episodes.
What is this now?
What are we at? 49?
Maybe
We need to make a decision. It's because when I say season 1 when I upload this thing, and iTunes goes by seasons. So is 52 the end of it,
Season
and 53 would be season 2?
I think so.
All right,
Decision made.
done deal.
Executive decision. Do I have a seconder?
Yeah,
No seconder?
Yeah, seconder. Yeah.
All in favor?
say aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. All right. There it is.
Done. All right, season 2 coming up, episode 53. Yeah, I think this is 49. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, that was good stories,
deal.
Bill. Appreciate hearing about your buck. TJ, sorry you had to walk.
Yep. And,
Glad it was more than
There's a-
6 points.
yeah, well, me too, to be honest with you. That would have made for some very awkward conversation back at the camp.
You just argue with your brother. Yep.
But you know what the funny thing was about that? You put the racks side by side for what my brother shot earlier in the week, and they were twin brothers.
You can see the genetics, eh?
They were identical racks.
That's so cool.
Yep.
That's like my garage. All the bucks we've shot over the years out of this spot are on my garage wall, and you can just look and see the genetics all through it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's pretty neat to see.
Yeah, it is. That is cool. But yeah,
So-
got to hear that. Got to hear how I facilitate for father. All my hard
Yeah,
work.
as you should.
That's
As you should.
debatable. So yeah.
All right.
Anyway, it's a good
Good deal.
podcast.
Well, I get
Thanks
the
for the
second.
chat tonight, guys.
I get the second eye done December 18th. Get the cataracts off it. I've already got an eye appointment at the end of December to get my eyes checked to see if I need glasses or not, and then I should be good to go. Now, if I just get my arm working, yeah, I may never hit another target. Who knows?
That's perfect. I'd like to hear that.
All right.
Oh,
On.
good
Awesome.
luck. We'll be in touch.
For sure. Thanks, Bill.
Nice talking to you, Bill. Talk to you again.
Nice talking to you guys. Bye. And that'll do it for this week, folks. For the Redneck Country Podcast, I'm Bill, the almost guy Tom.
And I'm Todd. And thanks for listening. And folks, if you want to be part of the podcast or you want to give us some feedback or really contact us about anything, feel free to email us at podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Again, that's podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you again next week.